Hello and welcome back to the Alexander Rossi Career Series here on BoxBoxBoxGaming with F1 2016. My name is Justin, and today we'll be taking part in the race for the Monaco Grand Prix, the 6th round of this 2016 season, driving for Haas F1. And having a quick look at the bay, I cut out some of these cinematic cutscenes for the practice and qualifying sessions, I think just for practice. There's one that happens at the beginning of practice, and it's almost the exact same every single time. It's really not showing off the circuit. It's more like looking at drivers, but they're always doing the exact same animations. However, I do like to include this one because it's going to show you the track layout and the number of corners and the DRS locations and all that kind of stuff. It's actually informative, so I'm leaving that in there. Of course, just the one DRS zone. Now, in the description down below, you will find a link to the practice and qualifying video. In the description of the practice and qualifying video, you will find a timestamp to skip straight to qualifying if you want to check that out. This is your last opportunity before we talk about, well, yeah, it's too late now. You can see Hamilton is on pole, and I am actually joining him on the front row of the grid in my Haas F1 car. So qualifying went very well. It was intermediate conditions. It was light rain all throughout qualifying. Q1 through Q3 was intermediate conditions the entire time. And it really seems that the AI is not that great in the wet. Hopefully that's something that they will patch because, yeah, I'm quite a bit quicker than the AI is. And so this is now the second race running where I'm qualifying outside of the position that I should be qualifying in, certainly, because of the conditions during qualifying. So, taking a look at the grid, again, it's Hamilton on pole, followed by Rossi. Then it is Daniel Ricciardo starting behind me once again. Nico Rosberg in 4th position, not good for him. Verstappen, and then Button ahead of the two Ferraris of Vettel and Raikkonen, followed by Romain Grosjean and Bottas rounding out the top 10. Then we've got Alonso, Kvyat, Sainz, and Hulkenberg. Felipe Massa way down the order. Rio Haryanto, Pascal Wehrlein, Kevin Magnussen, Julian Palmer, Sergio Perez also way out of position, way down in 20th. And then the two Saubers, I believe, were bringing up the rear there. I kind of missed that. But, yeah, not a great qualifying for Sergio Perez, certainly. Taking a look at the strategy, really not much strategy to think about here. It's going to be a one-stop race. It's 20 laps. I'm going to be stopping on lap number 8, going from the ultra soft tires to the super soft tires. And the ultra softs are brand new because, again, it was wet in qualifying. So this is not a scrub set of ultra soft tires. This is a brand new set of ultra soft tires. So that will be very nice to have a good amount of grip for all 8 laps. In fact, I thought about, yeah, I thought about possibly going onto the super softs a little bit later, maybe stopping on lap 9. But it tells you the estimated lap time, and it says that would have been a bad idea. So I'm going to go ahead and trust the game's instincts here. As soon as the light goes out, pretty much, I have to go away. I have to take off, and we're going to do the formation lap, of course. And yeah, kind of nervous about this one. I went over this in the practice and qualifying video, but again, for those that don't watch that, Monaco broke me in F1 2015 Pro Season. It absolutely broke me. The game crashed with just a handful of laps remaining after 73 laps of racing, and I never opened F1 2015 ever again. Yeah, so I have some PTSD when it comes to Monaco, certainly at this stage, doing the formation lap, you know, with all the cars around me. Speaking of the cars around me, by the way, look up at the top left. You will notice that Hamilton and Ricciardo are both on the super soft compound tires, which has me worried. I can only see the compounds of those two drivers, and both of them are on the super soft. So it seems like pretty much everybody, at least, you know, 2 out of the 2 I can see, are going for the harder compound tires to start on, and then I assume they're going to be going onto the ultra softs later. There's just no benefit to go from the super softs to the softs. Just makes no sense whatsoever. So I fully expect that actually they're just going to do a long stint. They're probably going to do 12 laps on the super softs and then put on the ultra softs at the end for an 8-lap stint, sort of the polar opposite of my strategy. Now, the good news there is that I will be pitting before them, therefore undercutting them. The other good news is that I will have more grip than they will in the opening stages of this race, which should mean that I can keep up with them. I'm even thinking about the fact that Hamilton being on Supersofts, I might have a shot into turn 1. Now, he is going to have the inside line for sure, so it's not going to be easy to go around the outside of turn 1. But you know, I'm not saying it's going to be it's impossible. Certainly, I think it is a very slim chance that I could get by Hamilton to take the lead of this race on lap 1 heading into turn 1. So possibly thinking about making a move into Sandoval. We'll see. If I don't make the move there, then it's highly unlikely I'll make it anywhere else. So clutch in, engines revving now as the lights come on and we prepare to go racing in Monaco. The lights are out and away we go. It's been a very good start for me, but it's been a pretty good start as well for Hamilton. Rosberg really just not able to challenge. He's on Supersofts as well, so I am the only driver in the top 4 that is running on the ultra soft tires right now, and Lewis Hamilton already beginning to streak away, if we're being totally honest, in the corners, able to claw some time back, but then as we get on the run down towards Mirabeau, you can see he just pulls out that gap even further, and Nico Rosberg is all over the back of me as well. So I've already got one Mercedes streaking off into the distance, and I've got another Mercedes behind me that is no doubt looking to get by me as quickly as he can so he can try and keep up with his teammate. Coming out of 48 now, and into the tunnel we go for the first time, and Nico Rosberg tucked into the slipstream of my Haas as we make our way down to the Nouvelle chicane. I'm going to defend the inside line from Nico Rosberg. He is going to go around the outside, though, so I have to leave him space, but he just pushes me into the barrier, and I lose my front right end plate on my front wing after Rosberg basically pushes me into the Red Bull. I have no idea what that was about. I gave Rosberg so much room, and then he just pushed me off the circuit. Well, off the circuit. You can't go off the circuit at Monaco, but he just pushed me right into the barriers. I gave him so much room. I was very courteous about the whole thing. It was pretty obvious that he was probably going to get me at the exit of the Nouvelle chicane, but, you know, I wanted to make it a fair fight, and he just pushed me wide. Like, thanks, buddy, for screwing me over. So I lost the position to him. I lost the position to Daniel Ricciardo, I believe, is actually the car ahead of me at this point. So I am now down into 4th position already, thanks to that incident on lap 1 with Nico Rosberg. So that is very unfortunate. There is a bit of a gap, actually, between the Red Bull of Max Verstappen behind me and the Ferraris. I say that, and then now it does seem like they're getting closer. Actually, one of the Ferraris has disappeared. I'm not sure which one. But now Romain Grosjean is actually the car that's directly behind that Ferrari. So he's in a good position right now in 7th at the moment. I believe he started from 9th or 10th, something like that, did Romain Grosjean. So down into 2nd gear for the Nouvelle chicane. Let me make my preview video bigger here. There we go. And into to back for the 2nd time in this race on these ultra soft tires, giving lots and lots of grip all the way up into 6th gear, dropping it down into 3rd for this chicane, taking lots of that inside curb on the left-hand side halfway through the chicane. Not so much on the entrance to the chicane because there's a barrier right there. Missing my apex ever so slightly for the final corner, and no DRS is active just yet. We are in rich mix, though, right now, as Rosberg sets a 117 point something. We only managed to do a 118.7, basically, on that last lap, so there's confirmation of just how much slower we are than the Mercedes. Although that's really not as much as I would have expected. Again, this is more information that was in the practice and qualifying videos, but I am absolute garbage at Monaco. I am just terrible at this circuit. So the fact that I'm actually keeping up with Ricciardo right now, that's pretty amazing. I am shocked with that. Again, I am on the Ultra Softs, though, and he is on the Super Softs, which is maybe a 7/10 difference, something like that. So, you know, he's probably about 7/10 quicker than me. But again, the Red Bull is actually faster. It's a faster and better car than my Haas, even after all the upgrades that we've applied. So I would certainly expect Ricciardo to be faster. But again, I'm so poor at this circuit usually. It's just such a bad track for me that really I'm surprised that my pace is this good. To be totally honest. Bit of a gap now forming actually between myself and Verstappen. He may have come under attack from that Ferrari that's behind him, possibly forced him into a side-by-side battle, which may have lost him some time. So here we go through the final corner. I will get DRS this time as we finish lap number 3 and start lap number 4. There's the DRS wing open. I'm sure in rich mix now as well, and getting a bit of a slipstream from the Red Bull up ahead. However, just not enough of a straight in order to actually pull alongside and he's just able to carry that much more speed through turn 1. I am running 11 wings maximum downforce for this circuit, and that has more to do with my lack of confidence in myself as a driver than anything else. I'm just trying to get through this race. Yes, I want to score points. I want to do as well as I possibly can, but if I were to all of a sudden spear off into a barrier and DNF, I would be like, well, that's fine. I made it 4 laps into the race. That's probably 3 more than I expected, to be totally honest. So when you think of it from that point of view, things are going pretty well. But at the same time, I am prepared for failure at any moment. I'm prepared for my car to just explode and I go flying off into the ocean, and that's the end of Alexander Rossi. He's dead. Yeah, I just want to get through this race. I want to move on to Canada. We've got a couple of upgrades that are coming in Canada. We've got a fuel efficiency upgrade and an engine power upgrade. So we'll be able to run in more rich mix in Canada and Baku, which is the race right after Canada. And also we'll have more engine power as well for those 2 power circuits. Coming to the end of another lap here. I believe this was the end of lap 5 now, if I'm not mistaken. And keeping Verstappen behind me, but starting to lose touch with Ricciardo, no doubt. No, sorry, that was the end of lap 4. We're on lap 5 now, so we're about 20% through this race, and it already feels like an eternity, I can tell you, from behind the wheel. Yeah, again, just not a big fan of this circuit in F1 cars, at least. I mean, maybe I would like it more in, something a little bit, like a sports car, a road car, something like that. Maybe it'd be more interesting. But yeah, I prefer circuits where, you're really testing the car, places like Spa. I mean, that's just so much better in my opinion, especially from a driving standpoint. Just much prefer that type of circuit versus this tight Monaco street circuit. Getting a nice exit there out of the Nouvelle chicane. It did seem that I was much better at the exit of that chicane versus the AI. That was one of the few places where I could actually pull out a gap on these guys. Into the swimming pool section, actually, this was another place where sometimes I was able to pull a gap. Had a little bit of wheel spin at the exit of the swimming pool area on this particular occasion, and then a big old lockup into Rascasse. But fortunately, it did get a pretty good exit out of the final corner, so I will be able to defend this position from Max Verstappen very easily. It's now a 2.5-second gap to Ricciardo up the road, so at this point, I'm just hoping to hang on to this 4th place position as long as I possibly can. It's pretty obvious that again, when you consider that the AI is going to be going onto the Ultra Softs at the end of the race, it's pretty obvious that I'm not going to be getting a podium here at Monaco, which is fine. That's accurate. I don't think Haas should be getting podiums at Monaco. Definitely not a track that suits their car. So through the Grand Hotel hairpin and down towards Portier and into the tunnel for the 6th time in this race. Confirmation from Jeff there that Lewis Hamilton is still leading this race as we make our way down to the Nouvelle chicane once again, breaking around the 100-meter board. They're about down into 2nd gear. We get a fantastic helicopter shot here. Wow, got some interesting tire marks around the Nouvelle chicane. I didn't notice those before when I was recording this. Through to back into the swimming pool section. Fantastic shots. Really love the helicopter shots that you get in this game sometimes. Fantastic stuff. Into Rascasse we go. Let's see if I can keep Verstappen behind me. I need to carry a good amount of speed through this final corner. It looks like I have done that, so I am going to be able to easily keep him behind. I'm using Rich Mix as well for these straights to keep the Red Bull behind. As far as I know, I've got enough fuel to take me to the end and to use Rich Mix every lap through the tunnel and also on the start-finish straight as well. So I don't have to really worry too much about fuel management. If I am going to do any sort of fuel management, it's probably going to be in Sector 2 here. As I come down towards Mirabeau, this is probably where I would do fuel saving if I needed to. Because obviously it's a very short run down towards the tight hairpin there, the Grand Hotel hairpin. It's another very short run down to 7 and 8, and then now you really open it up. So before the tunnel and after Mirabeau, that's really the best place to do fuel saving at Monaco, if any of you guys are looking for a tip there. Verstappen very close under braking, just riding my gearbox, but again, a better exit out of the Nouvelle chicane is going to allow me to pull a bit of a gap heading into Tabac. 4th gear corner and going into 5th gear at the exit, shifting up into 6th gear as we make our way through the swimming pool chicane down into 3rd gear for this chicane, and then second gear for Raskas, and again second gear as well for the final corner. So we're approaching our first pit stop. In fact, I think we might be finishing lap 7 and starting lap 8 right now. Again, a nice large gap to Max Verstappen, and we are, in fact, there's confirmation. We're starting lap 8 now, which means this is going to be our in-lap for the set of Super Soft tires, our one and only stop of the race, as per usual on these 25% distance races. I have to say, I am already looking forward to Season 2 and doing 50% distance, because I am looking for a little bit more diversity in the strategies. That's going to be nice. But we have managed to keep Max Verstappen behind this whole time, which I am very happy about, because, again, not a strong circuit for me. So hopefully he will not be pitting, and we can get a bit of an undercut on him. It should be about a half-second delta between these worn Ultra Soft tires and the brand new Super Soft tires, based on the graph that I saw on the pitch strategy thing before the race. So I should pull out a little bit of time, but again, I'm clearly holding up Verstappen. So who knows when this Red Bull finally gets unleashed from behind my incredibly slow Haas? Who knows how fast he's going to truly be? So he might even be able to overcut us, which would certainly be a worry. So here we go into Raskas for the final time on the Ultra Soft tires. And rounding out lap 8, into the pits we go. Thankfully, you really don't have to worry about speeding into the pit lane at Monaco, because it's almost impossible to take that corner at 37 miles an hour or faster on worn tires. And, of course, you would be coming into the pits on worn tires. So here we go into our pit stop and onto the Super Soft tires. And, oh, God, that guy's... Why? No, don't replace my wing. My wing was fine. Oh, God, no. There goes the Ferrari, and there goes the Force India, and the Toro Rosso, and the McLaren, and a freaking Manor. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, dude. Dude. Why would you replace my wing? What a bunch of dicks. Oh, God. That has completely fucked me. Let's be totally honest. Again, I'm not a huge fan of overly vulgar language, but really there is no other word to describe what just happened to me. I just got fucked. Like hard. Like really, really hard. Against my will. I'm not going to say any more than that. Just... oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The curse of Monaco. Clearly is a real thing for me, because I just can't catch a fucking break when it comes to this circuit. Oh, man. First, Rosberg just fucks me. Let's be honest. He fucked me, too. And then the team fucks me. I got team fucked. But the whole team fucked me at once. Like, that's... Wow. Ugh. I really was not looking for a gang fucking, if I'm being honest. That's not what I was really excited about coming into the Monaco Grand Prix. I wasn't sitting there on the grid, like, just thinking, hey, you know what would be awesome right now? If I just got gang fucked by my team. That'd be great. So just to make matters worse, look what just came out of the pits ahead of us. That's another Manor. Yep. Now I've got 2 Manors in front of me. And yeah, I'm gonna try and go around the outside of one at Massenet. Nah, that's not gonna work. No. You can't overtake someone around the outside of Massenet, Justin. But at this point, I am pissed. Like, I'm pissed at the game. Like, I'm pissed at F1 2016 right now. I'm pissed at Codemasters at this current moment in time. Because, seriously, I feel like it's been 3 years we've been asking for the ability to decline a wing change. And I feel like it's such an easy thing to add, such an easy thing to implement into the game. I feel like it really would not be that difficult. Yeah, and that's something that real F1 does all the time. I distinctly remember Mark Webber in Canada getting some wing damage, coming into the pits. They didn't change the wing, specifically because it would have just cost extra time. Yeah, I'm so angry right now, I just slammed into the back of Wehrlein. Sorry about that, buddy. Really didn't mean to do that. I am going to pick up the DRS here, and he is moving relatively slow. However, he is also picking up the DRS off his teammate up ahead. But I don't care. Yep, I'm going to cut the corner, too. Yep, deal with it. Hashtag deal with it. So now I have to clear another Manor, though. I'm now up into P15. I was 4th, you guys. I was 4th! That would have been 12 points. And sure, yeah, I probably wouldn't have finished the race in 4th if we're being totally honest, you know, especially because of, again, you know, the overcut from Max Verstappen, and also probably from whichever Ferrari was behind us. I still don't know which one that was, but those guys probably would have undercut me. Once I had gone into the pits, they probably would have been faster than I was on the fresh Super Softs. They would have been faster on old Super Softs than I was on fresh Super Softs. So to be totally honest, I probably would not have been in 4th, but maybe like 7th or 8th, something like that. I mean, God. And this is why I just wanted Monaco to be over. And now I really just want it to be over. That was a big corner cut there into 16. Big lockup there into Rascasse. Being very aggressive through the final corner there, getting really, really close to the barriers, at least by my standards. In Rich Mix, got the DRS open right now, trying to get the slipstream from Harriento, but unfortunately was just too far back, couldn't really do anything on that occasion. Very, very close behind him going up the hill through Beau Rivage now, tucked into that slipstream, but again, really just nowhere for me to go. He's dead center in the middle of the track. There is absolutely nowhere I could go there. Yeah, I mean, I could have maybe tried to push him off, make a safety car or something, but that wouldn't be very sporting. Getting some oversteer under braking for Mirabeau there. The keen-eyed viewers probably would have spotted that. I actually had had to countersteer a little bit, and then in addition to that, after the corner entry oversteer, I also got a front right wheel lock as well. My front right wheel was under rotating. So got oversteer into a wheel lockup. That's how hard I'm pushing into Mirabeau. I'm going to try and get a nice exit out of the Nouvelle chicane, as I have done on every single lap. A big squirm there coming out of the chicane into the back now, attacking that as much as I possibly can, letting the car run out wide, getting very close to the barriers as well, taking lots of the chicane curbing as well. I'm going to get DRS once again. Careful to brake earlier than Harriento, and he's just moving so slow here. I just said, screw it. I'm just going to go up the inside of the final corner there, and he really did not see that coming whatsoever. That really caught him off guard, and I think actually Wehrlein just got by him as well. Wehrlein, excuse me. I believe Wehrlein is now the car behind instead of Harriento, because I think Harriento... oh, does he have damage, actually? I think Harriento might have had damage there. He certainly did not make contact with me. He may have made contact with the barrier, but he certainly did not make contact with me. But it looked to my eye there like he might have actually had damage. I'm not 100% certain about that. I didn't notice that when it happened in the race. But anyway, the car behind is now Wehrlein. I'm going to try and pull ahead of him and try and catch up to the cars up ahead. We can see it's a McLaren up the road. I don't know if that's Jenson Button or Fernando Alonso. I'll have to get a look at the helmet if I want to know which driver it is, to be honest. I don't know which one is... That looked like Alonso to me. So yeah, I believe Alonso is the next car up the road. He is being held up, though, by some cars ahead of him. There's a nice train of cars, in fact, just ahead of me. And in fact, I would have been ahead of this entire train of cars if they had not fucked up my pit stop so hard. So that's where I would have been, is up there. I think it was like a 13-second pit stop. You can go rewind it. I've got some side pod damage apparently too on the right side of my car. I didn't even notice that either when I was recording this. I was in such a fury. Yes, and I am definitely seeing some debris coming out of the final corner there. So I think Harriento did in fact get some damage as a result of that overtake. But again, he never made contact with me, so that's certainly not my fault. Not my fault if you suck, Rio Harriento. He'll get driver of the day anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we have pulled out, actually, a bit of a gap on Wehrlein behind. I don't know if that's 1 second. It certainly seems like more than 1 second to me. But we're on the same set of tires, I believe, but his are one set fresher. I believe he came out of the pits on lap 9. Ooh, we've run wide there through the Grand Hotel hairpin, though. That is actually going to lose us some time now to Wehrlein, who is going to close up on us ever so slightly. And then I think he's close enough where he'll actually be picking up a slipstream through the tunnel here. So that's not going to help. I am up into Rich Mix at the moment, dropping it back down into standard for the braking zone at the Nouvelle chicane. Hamilton sets a 16.7. My fastest, but that is on the Ultra Softs. Again, I believe Hamilton came in on somewhere between lap 11 and 13 for a set of the Ultra Soft tires. It might have been 13 since he just set the fastest lap on lap 14. But obviously, it's a way quicker lap time than I'm able to do. But again, he is on softer tires and fresher tires as well. So And he's also in a Mercedes, so that certainly helps helps a little bit too. Up in a Ridge Mix, coming to the end of lap number 14, just 6 laps remaining in this Monaco Grand Prix. We can see on the mini-map that, yes, it is in fact a train of 5 cars just ahead of me. So there's 13th, 12th, 11th, 10th, and 9th, actually. So I would have been in at least 9th position if it wasn't a result of that, the group sex that I had with my team earlier. I can't get over that. Oh man, that is so frustrating. I mean, you could say, sure, that it's my fault for not remembering that you can't not change your front wing, and that it's my fault for not remembering that my front wing was damaged in that contact with Nico Rosberg. But I mean, honestly, it's Rosberg's fault that my wing was broken. It's Rosberg's fault that I needed the wing replaced. It's Rosberg's fault that they replaced my wing. It's Rosberg's fault that I'm in 14th position, and now he gets fastest lap. Just to rub it in my face. I hate you, Nico Rosberg. I hate you. He should be my new rival. Not even like in points. Like obviously he's gonna beat me every race, but I'm just gonna try and take him out. If I get a blue flag situation for Nico Rosberg, you better believe I'm gonna wait until I see the 3rd blue flag before finally moving. And it's not gonna be in a normal way. I'm gonna get out of the way like parked on an apex somewhere. Force that motherfucker to go wide. 5 laps to go. It's just a countdown at this point. You know, I'm so frustrated. I was pushing really, really hard to try and catch up to these group of 5 cars ahead of me. As a result, I've pretty much destroyed my tires. You've seen I've been getting oversteer. I've been getting lockups all over the place. Let's see if I'm going to get another lockup into Mirabeau here. Nope, no lockup on this particular occasion, but I would say on most laps I've been locking up at least once. So I've been pushing very, very hard to try and catch up to Alonso in P13, but it's just not happening. The gap is just getting bigger and bigger, if we're honest. And in fact, Wehrlein is still right behind me, so I can't even break away from Pascal Wehrlein in the manner. They did bring significant upgrades to Monaco, though, actually. Now, I'm just remembering that. They did bring a number of upgrades to Monaco. Like 3, possibly even 4. I don't remember if I covered that in my video, in the practice or qualifying video or not, but they brought a number of upgrades. So it's, you know, that kind of explains why I'm being hunted down by a manor right now on expert difficulty. Oh, good, now I've clipped the inside barrier there at the exit of Rascasse. That's going to, again, put Wehrlein right behind me, and he's getting the slipstream, and he's not getting the DRS, though, actually. So thankfully, the gap was bigger than 1 second as we crossed the DRS detection line. It was definitely less than 1 second as we crossed the activation line, though. So I got pretty lucky there, to be totally honest. But yeah, disappointing race. I can tell you, this didn't break me like 2015 Pro Season did, though. Again, 2015 Pro Season. I mean, I was an absolute wreck. I didn't even open. I never opened the game again after that. I mean, it just. To do that many laps consecutively at Monaco, when you hate Monaco as much as I do, and then to have the game crash right at the end of the GD race, my God, extremely frustrating. And this is not nearly that frustrating. This is nothing compared to what happened last year in Pro Season. This is nothing compared to that. I will absolutely, in fact, pretty much right after I record this commentary, I'm probably going to be recording the Canadian Grand Prix, or I will be tomorrow after the real life. What Grand Prix is it again? Spa. We're in Belgium. We're at Spa. Right after the Belgian Grand Prix, I'll probably record it if I don't do it tonight. So yeah, I'm absolutely going to be continuing the series. You guys do not need to worry. I will 100%. I am planning to finish this season. Into lap 18 now, so less than 3 laps remaining of this Monaco Grand Prix. Still in P14, still a giant gap to Alonso up ahead. Still, they're in a train as well, too. So, like, the really depressing thing is, not only am I not catching Alonso, I'm not catching whoever is slowing up Alonso. So whoever is forcing Alonso to go slowly, I'm not even faster than that person. It's just, it's depressing. It's bad. It's real bad. But again, I mean, this is what I was expecting. I thought for sure there was maybe a 30% chance that I wouldn't even make it to the end of lap 1. And when Rosberg pushed me wide here at the Nouvelle Chicane, I thought that was it. I was like, okay, well, this is my race over. That's it. I get to continue on. I thought maybe I was going to be recording Canada the same night. Just moving on to the next one. Oh well. I got my resource points from practicing qualifying. Monaco can go F itself in the B. I really just don't care at this point. So coming to the end of 18 now, just 2 laps remaining in this Monaco Grand Prix. You have no idea how much I wanted to just skip to the end of this race, not even show you guys the last 8 laps or so. I'd just be like, look, it's just me puttering around and getting chased down by Pascal Wehrlein. I mean, if I put that in the description of this video, come watch me get chased down by a manor at Monaco. I doubt very many people would watch, to be totally honest. I hope it's at least been entertaining with the commentary, though, because, yeah, it was not very fun to drive. You know, like I said, at this stage of the race, I'm just like, come on, just get to the end, Justin. You could do this. You could do this. Just a lap and a half still to go. Pascal Wehrlein all over the back of us, chasing us down. Thankfully, though, there's only 2 overtaking locations. He's not going to have a shot here. He's way too far back on this occasion, which means there's only 2 overtaking locations even left in this race, and that's going to be into Saint-Devote and then into the Nouvelle Chicane for the final time on the next lap. Great onboard shot here, though, as we go through the swimming pool section. I have noticed, I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but the frame rate in the replays has been unlocked, seemingly. I've been getting more than 30 FPS in these replays. Now, not much more. I've been getting somewhere between 38 and 45 FPS. It's a very strange FPS, but I think in a recent patch, Codemasters must have done something to unlock the frame rate in the replays. Now, simultaneously, that has caused some sort of strange bug where it's nearly impossible to fast forward a replay without causing all sorts of FPS and performance issues. So if you're trying to like fast forward or rewind to a specific part of the race, it gets real glitchy real fast. But as far as just playing the replay regular, it actually it seems to be slightly smoother. So kudos to Codemasters. They're certainly trying. Again, they kind of broke the ability to fast forward and rewind, but that makes no difference to me. After I record these races, I basically go straight into replay and record the entire replay. Then I overlay the replay on top of the race. I sync it up based on the lights at the beginning of the race. As the first frame where all 5 lights go out, I sync those up. And then I go through and I find whichever one I like best. So for this part of the race, I prefer the exterior camera angle. But then also I like to cross the line from cockpit view. So after this exterior camera angle, as the car's driving away from the camera, it'll transition into cockpit view, which should happen right after this corner, I believe. Yes, here it comes. There it goes, right into cockpit view. And all I have to do is just kind of switch the one. So again, they're basically layered on top of each other, and then I just pick whichever one I want out of those 2 for that particular moment. And yeah, that's P14 from 2nd on the grid. 2nd to 14th at Monaco. That's another great way to get views, I bet. Make a video called 2nd to 14th. 2nd to question mark. How bad can we drop in the Monaco Grand Prix? How far can we get? Can we get all the way down to 22nd while actually trying to do well? That's the thing. Again, I'm trying to do well. I was pushing as hard as I possibly could, and that was the best result I could get. Again, I did kind of get fucked over by my team and also Nico Rosberg. Yeah, they can all go screw themselves. I'm still bitter. I know I keep saying, like, I don't like the Monaco Grand Prix, I just want to get through it, but at the same time, I realized that there was probably a points opportunity there. And Max Verstappen, I think, is going to pick up like 4th or 5th position there. Yeah, Max Verstappen in 4th position. I was battling him in the championship. He's going to be picking up 12 points while I pick up 0. Romain Grosjean, thankfully, finishing in 7th position. By far his best result of the season so far, picking up 6 points for the team and getting hounded by Valtteri Bottas the entire time. So, yeah, it's been a bad race for Alexander Rossi. I'm not going to lie. In fact, the race has been so bad that we're actually going to go ahead. We're going to do something a little bit different for this video. At the end of this video, there is going to be a conference, a press conference with Alexander Rossi, where he's going to get asked questions from the media. If you're familiar with the My Driver series that Arif does on YouTube, you'll know that I do the questions for his series. And we're going to do something like that at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned to the end for that press conference. So there's confirmation, though. We did lose a position to Max Verstappen. He's up to 36 points now, and we're only on 24 still. Romain Grosjean moving up into 12th, though, with 9 points, just 2 points adrift of Nico Hülkenberg. So, yeah, Romain Grosjean now starting to pull his weight, which is great, especially in a race where I struggled so significantly. We have closed down the gap to Williams, just 4 points behind them in the Constructors. Mercedes have pretty much won the 2016 championship already. Giant gap of 91 points down to Ferrari, and then another 54-point gap down to Red Bull. And then it's another 64-point gap down to Williams. So it's very spread out up at the top. Much closer as far as the Constructors is concerned in the midfield levels for sure. So we're going to pick up 82 points for that race. That's going to put us on 143. Again, though, just remember for the next race in Canada, we're bringing 2 upgrades: engine and fuel efficiency. So that's gonna be very good. We did lose a bit of position in the driver position thing. Probably not going to get a very good score here. We did pick up a lot of points in qualifying, though, picking up 1,700 points in qualifying and 1,950 in practice. So that's going to be helpful for our points tally. So now we've got a contract event, shockingly, after going from 2nd to 14th. They've decided they want me to sign a contract for something, and I think you guys can pretty much imagine what this is. It is the first driver contract, so they want me to be the lead driver for the Haas F1 team, demoting Romain Grosjean down to a secondary driver position, and that means I will earn bonus R&D resource points, which will be fantastic. It means we can up our development level a little bit. So that is going to do it for this episode of the Alexander Rossi Career Series from the Monaco Grand Prix. Not a great race. So I hope you guys enjoyed, though, and I hope you're looking forward to Canada. God knows I am absolutely looking forward to Canada. And, yeah, actually, now we're going to go to that press conference where Alexander Rossi is answering questions. But from me, from Justin, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
So, Alexander, a tough race out there for you today, and after a great qualifying yesterday, which saw you get a great front row, which is some achievement for a brand new team in 2016, let alone being your very first outing here around Monaco in what were some very tricky intermediate conditions, I can't imagine how upset you must be with how your race panned out. The incident with Nico, your team's odd decision to replace your front wing at the pit stop when you didn't even ask for it, and then less said about your struggles at the end, the better. How are you feeling after all of that?
I'm fucking pissed!